Morning. Thank you very much, Jim. Today I'll be covering a whole range of points that will help you produce amazing video content for your organization. I will be covering quite a lot of ground, but don't worry if you miss something. The webinar will be available on YouTube after today, as Jim said. And at the end of my webinar, you'll also have the opportunity to download our free comprehensive guide to video production too. So have your phones ready with to get a QR code. Or if you prefer, there's also a web link in there too. So is your marketing, video marketing right for your audience? The answer to that probably is yes. So people are reading much less these days, and actually people are watching so much more video content. On average, 78% of people watch video content online every week. So it goes without saying that video content is part of the future of marketing. You've only got to see how social media channels have changed, and you will have seen the changes yourself in the type of content that's being delivered to you through those channels as well. So what are people saying about the content? So people are saying things like, I'm new and I don't know how to go about creating content and creating video. They're also saying things like, I'm just starting out, everything is a challenge right now. And also people are saying, I'm new to video marketing, I need to get started, but feel intimidated by it. And these are common things that we hear from people every day. So we've got 10 things that we can share with you today that will actually help you get your video content right. Let's start with number one. So for us, one of the first things you need to do is actually define your video marketing goals. And what does that look like? So first of all, are you looking to create brand awareness? So these goals are not really different from business or marketing goals or objectives that you might set. It's all about what you actually want to achieve. So brand awareness is one of the things that people are looking for to create a video. People sometimes come to us and say, I need a video, but having an idea of why and what you want to achieve with it is super important at the start. So is it brand awareness? Or are you looking to create some lead generation? Or are you looking to promote a product, service, or another element of your business? The next point that we often get asked is, what kind of content should I use? So deciding on the type of content is critical to getting it right and fit for purpose. Don't make the mistake of trying to cram everything into one video as well. Sometimes it's better to create a number of shorter videos because having something too long can intimidate viewers, and people can go cold to video content quite quickly, and it can be quite confusing. And also, if you're producing a number of videos, then you can use them in many different ways, and you can build them into your longer marketing plan. So these are some of the types of video content that we often get asked to produce. One of the key ones is actually probably a brand showreel video. And generally speaking, this is used to showcase an organization or can act as an overarching general introduction to the organization, and aspects such as the scale, the size of the organization, an overview of services. This is an example and just a clip of one we created for one of our clients, which is to demonstrate their global reach. You might want to create a product or service demo video. And these are probably one of the second most requested videos we get from our clients. And these are great aids to sales and marketing teams. They often get the most views when shared on websites as well, or platforms like YouTube or Vimeo. This is one we made for a client that was moving their radio systems onto a digital platform. And then instructional videos. I use these quite often when I bought some new equipment. This is one we made for the ACCA, which is the professional accounting body. And these things, we create a lot of them for educational institutions or organizations with large memberships and professional qualifications programs as well. And then you've got internal comms videos and cultural videos. So these things have been really very highly requested from our clients during the lockdown, particularly, as a lot of them found that video content was a lifesaver for many of their teams. who needed access to colleagues or to provide updates on business as well. We created this one as an example, which connected apprentices across the UK and helped communicate learning programs. And then obviously we're here today to have a webinar. And obviously webinars are an important part of video content as well. This one we created with a green screen in our studio for this client for an international online conference. So they interviewed and we superimposed them with the green screen with the presentation and video content in the background. So the next one is all about production values, and this is something that really matters. So there's a number of things you need to consider here. So who are you going to, who's going to produce these videos for you? You're going to do them yourselves? Have you got somebody in your team that can produce them? Or perhaps you need to engage a specialist company. Definitely something worth considering. How? So how often are you going to publish your videos? This can have an influence on who and how you produce them, depending on the amount of volume you want to create, but also make sure this is incorporated into your wider comm strategy as well. So making sure that, if you're building any messaging through other channels, make sure video is part of it. And then it's about style. So, what sort of style do you want to create? Do you want a slick, professional looking video, or are you looking for something that's more like a blog or reportage style? And the next thing is all about, what kit are you going to use? What equipment will you need to get the production right? I mean, some people have created videos on iPhones and that can work, but having professional kit and the right microphones, the right screens, the right cameras to produce it will actually make a huge difference to what the production values look like. And the next point is about, where are you going to promote your video? It's important to know where you're going to put it and where you're going to share your content online, or is it through emails? There's loads of different formats you can use now, and quite often people will follow the social channels that they feel are the most comfortable using, but there's a lot of other places you can share your content. Obviously, YouTube's the big one. It's actually the second biggest search engine now after Google. And you have Vimeo, LinkedIn, all the usual suspects are in there, and email as well. So, think of the different channels where your customers and clients actually hang out. Is it social media, or is email a good route to market for you? But also think about the way that people consume content through these channels as well, because it does differ. So as an example, length of video, the sound, the format, they're all considerations you should think about for every one of the channels. So YouTube, generally speaking, is used for tutorials and promo videos. Instagram short engaging snippets really work well to showcase your brand. Twitter, short promo videos, again, perhaps to more blogs and other content. And then Facebook, generally speaking, live videos create the best engagement through Facebook, but these need to be built into a longer communications plan in our view. So then think about what does the success of your campaign look like? And there's a number of things you should think about here. And these won't be unfamiliar to those of you that have a marketing plan or a marketing strategy and maybe have digital marketing activity in place. But designing measurable goals is absolutely critical. These can change as you know what works for you and your business, but also as your business goals might change. But think about, are you looking for the number of unique views? Are you looking for the number of impressions through social media? Or is it about watch time, how long people are staying and watching your video on YouTube? Or is this about clicks, signups and sales leads for your sales or marketing teams? And then it's about getting the content right. And we've all watched some great videos online and switched off some really bad ones. So getting your content right is really critical to keeping viewers engaged, and also getting the content right in the first instance will actually be much greatly enhanced by a storyboard, which we'll talk about in a moment. But some things to think about in terms of your content to start off. What is your audience going to be interested in, first of all? What are their pain points? This is a term we often use in marketing, and essentially for us, this is often a key way to get your customers, prospects, or clients on the end of the hook. But then it's about, if you've got audience research already, if you've had this work done, then use it. You may have it for marketing plans or strategies that you've developed. That's it's gold, really. And you can sometimes find this information as well on Google. And if you can help build up this picture of the audience and actually what their pain points might be, what they would be interested in, that will help you get the content right. The next thing is all about creating a good storyboard. Now, this is often a missed but critical element to video production. And this is our starting point for every client project that we work on, no matter how short the video, even if they're short social media snippets. And I think this is the one thing that will help you get your video looking really sharp. So this is an example we created for one of our clients. And as you can see, we've brought in a lot of the sort of key messages for the brand. You can see that we've used shapes, and we went through a whole branding process for this client. And what we've created here is a video that sort of hits the spot, filming it on location, using animation as well. And this really was to create brand awareness of their shift to a global organization. And the next bit of advice is getting people's attention right away is so important. It's your golden opportunity, really, to get people on the end of the hook. And we can see over 400 pieces of video marketing every day. So making those first few seconds count is so important. And here's 3 things that you can do to actually really make that work for you. So first of all, it's the pain point question I mentioned earlier. So pain points of an audience are a key aspect of marketing for us these days, and understanding what keeps your audience awake at night or stops them growing as a brand can give you a real march on competitors and actually really create things that resonate with them right up front at the start of your video. There might be a relevant or interesting fact you want to share. I've put a few in this presentation this morning. Everyone loves facts and figures, and as you know yourselves, keeping an audience engaged with things like that can actually keep them engaged right through a video. So keep dropping them in as you go through a video piece of work can actually really keep them engaged and want to know more. And then obviously powerful imagery is a critical part of marketing, and an image can tell 1,000 stories and with your audience, and the right image at the start can also get them hooked as well, and they'll want to watch the whole video. And then number 9 is about telling a story. It's key to video success, and that, going back to the storyboard points I made earlier, that's just as critical to get the story right at the very start. When we work with clients, we'll spend time with them and we'll talk about what that story looks like, and it really works. So, and for us, it's the key aspect of video production. Everything must start with that. And when you combine it with a compelling hook, like a pain point or an interesting fact, you're actually on to a winner. So here's some of our tips on actually creating a good story in video. So focus on one message at a time, because you can have too much content in video and then you're going to lose the viewer. So it's much better, if you want to get a number of messages over, then use a number of different videos. Use the storyboard to build a time structure for the video as well, so you know how long that video is going to be. So let's say you've got 1.5 minutes. Using the storyboard, and you can move elements in and out of a storyboard as you're in the creative phase, that will actually help you get a really strong story in place. And then obviously strong creative is critical to actually engaging viewers. So the look and feel is super important. And this is a good tip here. So use emotion sparingly. If you try and put too emotion into something that you're creating in terms of the imagery or the words that are used, that can be quite off-putting to viewers. So do keep that to a minimum. And then this is our final point, is but show, don't tell. It's really important to get your product or service really in front of the person very early on in the video. This is your opportunity to deliver on your goals that you want to achieve for the video, and you can enthuse and engage the viewer with this. This is where good storytelling actually comes in. Don't forget to keep your brand consistent throughout as well. So make sure that you've got your brand identity, your logo right, you've got the typography right, and the colors are right as well for the viewer in terms of your brand, and then that will help create something which will resonate with them. They'll remember your brand, and you can use that and use it consistently throughout all of the video content you produce. And I'll leave you with a phrase that Chekhov said. It said, "Don't tell me the moon is shining, show me the glint of light on broken glass." And that for me sort of sums up the essence of a great story. So that sort of brings me to the end of the webinar, and we're going to do a Q&A now. There's a QR code here which you can use to access a free guide we've created, which includes this content and much more. Or you can visit greatvideomarketing.co.uk and download the guide there as well. Thanks for listening, and happy to take questions in the Q&A now.